Hollywood movies like happy endings, but of course life doesn't fade out after the final frame. At its best, life has happy beginnings.
It is very, very hard to go out into the world when you're not feeling happy. I do put that pressure on myself. I have to be high to be creative. I need that. That's an era in my life that happened for over 10 years.
Don't buy into the bullshit that dope makes you more creative, because it does not. And I bought into that, and it kept me out there for a lot of times. If you take my drugs and my alcohol away, how can I possibly be creative? What's more important to me, my sobriety or my career? I had to come to the decision, well, if I can't do it without drugs and alcohol, then I'm finished. Then that's my higher power saying, it's his world, not mine. If you get stuck, ask for help. If I can do it, anybody can do it. Anybody can do it. And you know what? It's better. I'm not just blowing my own trumpet. Today, it's better. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I know I didn't get loaded yesterday. But today, it's great. It's great to be alive.
You were the simplest, healthiest, most clean living performer rock had ever known.
It changed. There were periods of time in my life where I could stop drinking and I could be happy, but I always went back to it.
It'll be 22 years next week that I got sober and clean. I'm the luckiest person in the world. I have nothing to complain about. I have had my redemption. I can be proud of myself. 3 words changed my life. I need help. And I couldn't say those words for 16 years because I thought it was a sign of weakness. I thought I was clever enough to do it all on my own. And there are some things in life you cannot do on your own. And it's much better to share and to reach out.
I'm growing. I just couldn't believe that anybody could ever be naturally happy or naturally function or be just enjoying life in general without being on something. It does get better, you know? It does.
Recovery is probably one of the best things that's ever happened to me. I'm able to see things clear. I'm able to remember things. I mean, this is how I've decided that I want to live my life, and I don't ever want to go back. So. I don't give a damn what you think. It does feel like a second chance in the sense of at life again, you know? I almost fucking died, so it's like that in itself, like, I'm not gonna blow this chance.
This is your first U.S. Stadium concert that you're sober?
Yeah. Yep.
Do you ever, I mean, when you look out, you know, and you see 40,000 people and they're all singing your songs, I mean...
It's crazy.
You actually see their faces when you're performing?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I do now, you know?
You do now?
Before it was a big blur.
Say, everybody come take my hand, we'll walk this road together. 10 years ago, could you have imagined yourself rapping something like that?
Probably not. If I can help people that have been through a similar situation, then, you know, why not?
For people like me who are in recovery, and if you want to be an artist, if you want to be an actor, if you want to be a musician, you think, man, if I ever make it, it's gonna fix me. So then you make it, and it doesn't fix you. Now what? And I was just done. I was done. I'd had a run. It was fun. I liked it. I wouldn't go back and change it.
You would?
But no, I wouldn't. But I had met a girl, my wife, Cheryl. I just had a moment of clarity, they call it. And I had been carrying around in my wallet. Now, by the way, I couldn't keep a pair of sunglasses. I lose my keys 20 times a day. I'm a spastic, and yet I was able to keep a drug and alcohol counselor's card in my wallet for a year. And so when I was ready, I had it, I made the call, and I've been sober for 23 years.
I was loaded for the end of the last tour, and the other guys were sober and watching me, and I was like, you know, and I'm so arrogant that I didn't give a shit what they thought. I was in rehab 2.5 weeks or something. We had these 5 gigs, and went out there and just played really, really well, you know, and I think maybe I was a little bit nervous walking up there, but you're always nervous walking up there anyway. Once you just, you know, prop yourself up and start doing it, then that fear goes away, and it has nothing to do with alcohol or drugs or anything else. It's just, you know, doing what it is that you do as a musician. And you walk away from it going, oh, wow, that was, you know, I never would have thought. Individuals who have, you know, addiction problems. Musicians especially, because I can relate to them. Everybody's story is different, you know, but there is a certain thread of it that is consistent with pretty much everybody. Most people are very pig-headed and don't really want to burden somebody else with their issues, or don't think or have any faith in what other people's opinions are or what their experiences have been, because they don't understand this person as an individual. If you get that support and feel better, and it's a little bit easier to deal with, you don't feel so alone. The first thing is to
be happy and enjoy this, because it's not promised. Who knows where we're going to be in a year, 2 years, 3 years. We're at this position now, and I don't want to look back and be like, you had it all, and you weren't even present for it.
To say it got in the way would be to say that what I was expressing didn't have validity for the suffering that I chose to put myself through. If it's all for nothing, then it's a tragedy. Yeah. And if you put it down and move on, then it's, you know, it's a way just to demonstrate that that's something that occurs. There's really, really, really nothing that anybody can't survive as long as they survive.
But it's a disease that you don't have to succumb to. You can live with it. You know, you get a daily reprieve by just believing in each other and in how good God is to you.
Have you been involved in AA?
Sure. You know, it's called Alcoholics Anonymous for a reason. But I've never been anonymous. Like it's going to start now.
Glad I am what I am. I'm glad I am what I was, for example. But I don't want to actively live like that anymore, because it's a short circuit, you know, it's a dead end. But it's informed my life as an actor, and it's enriched my life as a human being. I feel much richer for all this, because now I feel like a survivor.
My roommate in rehab was a 65-year-old priest from the Church of England who was he said, yes, well, the thing is, Craig, the parishioners were complaining that all the communion wine was going missing. This is true. And also, an old lady said that there was a hobo sleeping in the church graveyard. I had to pretend and go and look for him, but it was me.
I'm not a connoisseur.
All right. I wasn't a connoisseur either. I was an alcoholic, but it's not a connoisseur.
How did you defeat it?
I didn't defeat it. I don't think of myself as defeated.
You're still an alcoholic?
Oh, yeah.
How long sober?
20 years.
5 years ago, and a lot of things professionally were going on in my life, personally were going on in my life. I was using that more as a crutch to get past some of those things instead of dealing with them. And so I thought that could be dangerous, because the further you got away from dealing with things and sort of blunted it with alcohol or drugs or whatever you're using, the harder it was going to be to deal with it in the long run. That being said, I still haven't dealt with anything, but at least I'm sober.
How do you become a drug addict? Because that seems like you were in a tremendously sad place that you would become a heroin addict.
No, for me, you know, it was the times, and it seemed like a good idea at the time.
Oh, dear.
Everybody looked, you know.
They look cool.
Everybody looked really cool.
What was your
first experience with drugs?
Every drug I took, I greeted like a lover. The first time I had marijuana, I thought that was like magnificent. I loved it. The first time I took LSD, I loved escaping into this prism of new consciousness. When I first took heroin, it's like a lovely, snuggly, warm cuddle that ruins your life. Yeah, no, part of my daily recovery, one day at a time, from drugs and alcohol is that if anyone at all with a drug or alcohol problem says, Russell, I want to get clean, I have to help them. It's like a mandatory obligation. And sometimes I sort of want to go, no, I have to.
Yeah. You have to. Over 11 years, right?
It is over 11 years since I've had any drugs.
This guy has saved my life literally 15, 16 times. Treatment is all-encompassing.
Today, Perry is sober. He even opened a sober living home, the Perry House, to help men transition from rehab into the real world.
The thing that I'm most proud of in my life is that if a stranger came up to me and said, I can't stop drinking. I can't stop drinking. Can you help me? I can say, yes, I can help you.
It might just be his best role yet.
I'm an addict and alcoholic, so I have my ups and downs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and that sort of, my head is a bit wonky. So I have to look after that, do you know what I mean? Kenny and I are very similar in many ways. We both went down the wrong path, but we both had it in us to make something of ourselves. Everest is obvious to climb because it's there, it's a mountain. Personal Everests, you know, you can't see them, you know, and that journey to the top of the mountain and back down again is fraught with hazards.
Yeah.
And no one can see it but you. So letting people in to help, you know, when you can't trust, you know, there's going to be someone there who's got the right pair of ears at the right time and might pass you on to the right person for you. And every case is different, you know. So never give up on a dream.
So what is your proudest moment then?
Probably sitting here with you, mate, because, do you know what I mean? Everything that's brought me to where I am today is supposed to happen, innit? I'm really grateful to be here, mate. And I'm really proud of you because you've overcome a lot and you're doing really well and you're helping other people. I want to help other people and I'm really grateful for the things that have happened in my life. It could have gone the wrong way.